All right, everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And today we're going to be going over a subject that really does not become apparent in your life until you get to a certain age, when you have more life completed behind you than before you. Most people think back on the way stuff went down and how they could have done it different, and then the regret sets in. All right, and I'm gonna be honest. That saying, that which weighs an ounce today weighs a ton tomorrow, and that they would be absolutely correct in this regard. Now, I want to cover this mainly because I do this show for the main purpose of educating the world against toxic feminism and its effect on our civilization, the fatherless homes, and the disparities in the divorce industry. And in so doing, using comedy, I am attempting to battle the hopelessness that whole system creates in the hearts of men and drives many of them to commit suicide, and even more, onto the reef of life where they're literally crushed and broken, because life ain't easy, life ain't cheap, and nothing is free. And as you grow and you have to navigate those, you're going to come to understand that's absolutely true. Alright, this is the 10 most common regrets. Okay, this one here: I wish I had the courage to live a true life to myself and not the life of what others expected of me. Okay, I hear this all the time, and this does cause a lot of contention, even with me to this day. Because what was expected of me back in the day was to build this, how shall I say, my own piece of the pie. With the high-paying job and the house and the car and the 2.5 kids, half a cat, and 1.2 dogs. Crazy stat. It exists, but it's hilarious. And then I found out that what people wanted me to do and what they expected of me was to pull up a seat at the chair of mediocrity and drink from the punch bowl of misery and everything else. And I made a choice that I was not doing that. Okay, I was going to do something dynamic with the time that I had here on this planet. And I'm over 50 now. And I can honestly say I did the absolute best I could at every task I chose to pursue. Okay? I mean, I went in the Army as an E1 grunt nothing, straight leg infantry, the most expendable of the expendable. Then I became an airborne ranger, and then an airborne paratrooper, and a Green Beret. And I was both blessed and cursed to test my manhood against the anvil of war several times. And I passed. I can't say I passed with flying colors. I don't think anyone ever does. But I made it out the back end. And I don't regret that at all. All right? It is what it is. You are not going to be able to do everything All right. Now, luckily for me, and this is both a blessing and a curse, that I was divorced and quite literally lost everything, and had to chisel my way back. And the lessons I learned from that lit a fire under my ass that drove me to heal myself, salvage my life, and then instead of going with the flow, I did a 180 and I fucking went to war. That's the way it works. Let's go through number 2 here. It says, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Remember, you won't remember how much money you made. You remember the people and memories you made with it. Money comes and goes. Memories last a lifetime. And that's correct. All right. Now, a lot of people hear the stories about when you die and then your life flashes before your eyes. And that's 100% true. Except it's not flashing before your eyes for any kind of judgment or non-judgment. It's basically you packing your bags and preparing for the exit. When you go to the lobby and then you go beyond the lobby to whatever happens. All right. And there's a lot to be said here in regards to working so hard. All right. I myself, I missed out on a lot of holidays and birthdays and what have you. And, I regret that. It does make me sad. It does. But like I said before, you can't do everything. And if you try to do everything, you will do everything half as well. So you're going to have to make some choices. I chose to miss all that stuff because I wanted to do something, bigger and better than me. And I accept that. And that goes a long way in quashing those regrets. All right. Now, listen, I've almost died many times here. So I know what I'm talking about. Because I've had to process this list at least 6 times in my life. And I understand how this works. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. As it's been quoted, speak your truth. Speak your truth. I've always done that. It's got me in a whole bunch of trouble. Okay. But here's the catch. I don't regret the trouble I got in for it. I would have regretted not saying that. And there were many times I was the only voice who spoke out. I looked around and all of the brave people I thought, were going to be with me, pussed out. But the stakes were too high and it needed to be done. All right, number 4, I wish I stayed in touch with friends. It's easy to take for granted today, but all right, okay, blah, blah, blah. The friends thing is a bizarre subject, and most people won't understand this until they get to a certain age. As you go through life, you're going to hit challenges, severe challenges. All right? And when you get to these challenges, you're going to find out exactly who your friends are. The guy who shows up with that truck on a moment notice to help you fucking move because the landlord fucking, pulled your lease. All right? The guy who comes to bail you out of jail. Or offer you a room while you're getting divorced. Takes your side when you're, going through your divorce. Okay, it's the same happens at funerals, a death of family members, if you win or lose a lot of money, or you become famous. And let's face it, you are the product of the 6 people you keep around you. And a lot of people, as they go through life, grow to become better, while those people that you had surrounding you didn't want to come along for the ride. And they just drop off. That's just the way it works. And when you reach those life goals, you're going to see who and who does not have your back. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the people you went to high school with. All right. I have one friend of mine from high school who's like a brother to me. I've been to war with him twice. All right. That's it. I mean, I thought I was well liked. I knew a lot of people. I thought, oh, yeah, I was going through the divorce. I was going through all this stuff. I had people I'd known for decades go, sorry, man, I don't want to help you. I don't want to get involved. You need to cut those people out of your life. They're nothing but parasites and anchors. So don't regret that, especially if you made these people absent from your life for valid reasons. Number 5, I wish I let myself be happier. Okay. Yeah, all right. Happiness is and comfort is like a number one priority of virtually everything that walks the earth. Can you be happy 24/7, 365? No. All right. You can be happy sometimes. You can be content a majority of the time if you're one of those blessed, fortunate people. But for the most part, growth requires pain. Pain is the opposite of happiness. And granted, yeah, you get to the end, you're like, I wish I lived a happier life. If you make it north of 50, you are a small minority of all the people who have ever lived on this planet to enjoy the benefit of being old. Happiness is fleeting. Yes, you should strive for some type of happiness. I got it. But don't let that be your only goal in life, is just to get to the end and be happy majority of the time. Because odds are you didn't really help anyone else out. You took care of yourself and yourself only. You know, if you're one of those sociopathic individuals who can do such a thing. I'm just saying, don't run through life searching for happiness at every turn. It's not going to work out. Okay, I wish I was more present with my kids when they needed me the most. This is a big one, and I have this one a lot. And I can see why this is a big one here. Like in my case, I literally did a superhuman effort to stay in the lives of my children. I was stationed to Utica, New York. My kids lived outside of Detroit in one of the suburbs. And before I left, I had promised them I would see them twice a month, no matter what. And for 5.5 goddamn years, damn the weather, I traveled 571 miles one way, drove 2 cars into the ground, had to donate plasma, live on a Spartan diet so I could afford to travel back and forth to stay in my children's lives. But kids get to 18. Once they reach 18, there's pretty much fuck all you can do with them, especially if they don't listen to you, or, you know, most kids think their parents are wrong because of the shit they're being taught in school. And so whatever happens to them from their own dumbassery, you shouldn't regret that. You had nothing to do with that, especially if you did the best you could with the circumstances that were put before you. If you can honestly answer that question within yourself, you can quash number 8. Number 9, I wish I'd listened to my gut more. Amen. Remember, trusting your instinct is part of being confident. Yeah, all right. Fortunately, in my case, I listen to my gut a lot. And listening to my inner ESP, or my gut, has saved my life and the lives of men who served with me, or under my authority. But there are a few severe incidences that I do regret not listening to my gut, and that would be marrying my ex-hooter, the 304. All the red flags were there, all of the craziness, and I ignored it. Because, well, red hair and titties. All right, and I'm going to be paying for that mistake probably into halfway through my next lifespan. But other than that, I knocked it out of the goddamn park when it came to listening to my guts. Financially, I regret not listening to my guts because I could quite literally have invested money in certain things where I would be long since retired and doing my own thing. All right. But if I had been successful at that, or I listened to my gut and didn't marry that hooer, 440 lives would not be here. So I'm taking a supreme negative and turning it into a positive here. All right. That's the way I look it up. And number 10, and I love this one. I wish I had followed my passion. Remember, there's no dress rehearsal. I gotcha. And there's nothing wrong with following your passions. But here's the reality. The fewest of the few can earn a living doing what they're passionate about. All right? You still have to eat. You still need shelter. All right? All of that stuff is not free. Costs a lot of cash. All right? And if you get to the end and you feel like this, you just have to remember you did what you had to do. All right? Yes. You know, it would be absolutely great to live in some kind of kumbaya world where you went from birth to death being happy 24/7, 365, and everything worked out for you, and you felt love and all this other crap. You never had to worry about food or shelter. This isn't goddamn Star Trek. This is the real fucking world. And yeah, okay, you're upset and you regret, not following your passion. Got it. But hey, you could have turned your passion into a hobby while you were doing something else to pay the bills and, deal with reality. And then perhaps one day you'd be good at, or this passion would be enough to focus more time on it and make a living. Maybe. But I'm just saying here today, and if you made it to the end and you made it through this crazy ramble, the lesson is this. March hard, shoot straight, and always speak the truth. You live by those 3 principles, most of the stuff on this list goes away. And the warriors out there who I'm speaking to understand that. And the people who make lists like this are not warriors and don't have the warrior mindset. All right? So guess what? If you feel a lot of this stuff on this list, you need to change your perspective. I'm just saying.